everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of the Deloitte Women's Premier League show. As you can see from behind us, we are here in Sydney, Australia, the home of the FIFA Women's World Cup final. And I'm joined here by two, I would say, icons of Singapore women's football. We have Sheau Shyan, the head coach of the Lion City Sailors women's team. And we also have Pamela Kong from Still Aerion FC, and I believe she's also with Unleash the Raw right now as assistant coaches. Guys, it's so nice to meet you guys here in Sydney, Australia. Thank you so much for joining me today. Firstly, I want to get your thoughts. How's your Women's World Cup experience been?
I think it's an incredible experience here. We've been trying to go to every Women's World Cup, and every one of them just is so different, the improvement between one to the other. So it's good to see women's football really becoming so big.
And for yourself, Pam, is this your first Women's World Cup?
No, this is our third. Yeah, so we were in Canada in 2015, and then in France together but separate. and then this year we're here in Sydney. Like every year the crowd's getting bigger, atmosphere is a lot livelier, and so far all the places I've been to is I keep hearing people talking about the games, and it is something that I haven't ever experienced like things like this before. Like people on the streets, random people were just talking about, have you watched the game? They're playing really well, and they're expecting more from them.
Fantastic. And Shyan as well, I just want to get your thoughts as a coach. You're obviously head of women's football, head coach at women's football for LCS. How has the coaching changed through the years in women's football and in Women's World Cup as well?
In Singapore?
In overall, yeah.
I would think that the level expected of us is so much higher, and if you stop studying, if you stop following the trends in women's football, you will become obsolete very quickly. So it's a difficult, tough job to keep informed about how the women's football is growing. Yeah.
And Shyan, maybe I can get your thoughts as well as a coach. Maybe for this Women's World Cup, which team were you following? And I know, we all had the same team. and your thoughts on just in general, your teams that you're looking out for and your favourites as well moving forward.
Yeah, my favourite coming to this World Cup would definitely be Japan, but unfortunately they're out before I can watch a live match.
Same. For yourself, Pam?
Yeah, me too, Japan. I was lucky I got to watch the Japan and Spain game in Wellington. That was a fantastic game. Really showcased what they're capable of, and they are so fluid. It's so nice to watch them play, and it's something that you really wish that you can achieve. And it's gonna take a long time, but it's so nice to see them play.
England and Spain are in the finals, and by this time, by the moment this show goes out, we already have known who the winner is. But quick thoughts on both England and Spain. Do you think they both deserve to be in the finals, Shyan?
I watched England twice, and I think they are so powerful.
Yep.
Physique-wise, speed-wise, and the way they play, their passing movement in tight areas, they totally deserve to be in the finals. I think Spain is good to see, nice to watch. When I saw them play against Netherlands, I thought the striker, the 19-year-old girl, was fantastic. It will be a very nice match.
It'll be a very nice match. For yourself, Spain, anything about any of the finalists that you like or which stood out for you?
I did that bracket challenge. And my prediction, I was hoping for a Japan-England finals.
Yes.
So I got England right. Spain was a bit, but the last few games, the way they played, the knockout rounds, they proved that they deserve a place in the finals as well.
Any standout player for you as well from this entire tournament?
Any standout players? When I watch Japan play, I really like Endo.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yourself, Shyan, any standout player?
I didn't really try to watch individually, but as a team. So their defensive counter is so precise and so fast. I think that's the thing that I really liked.
So one thing about as a coach as well, I mean, I wanted to share that Serena Wingman, the England coach, actually stated that so much has changed about women's football. For yourself personally, I know you've been in the game for very long, you know. Are you happy where women's football is going? What would you like to see more of in Singapore, you know, especially with the Matildas and their success
Singapore.
here? Yeah, and in general as well, yeah.
I think that the talk nowadays is always about the equality, the pay equality, the opportunity that they get. So that has to progress even faster, I think, especially in the Asian countries, because now the movement in Europe and that speed that they are going at, we will soon be way behind if we don't step up. So I think in that sense, the countries in Asia need to,
make sure that the women get paid accordingly, like full salaried workers. I do agree with you on that.
Not just the pay, but the opportunities and the facilities and the competitions, because if you want higher quality, those things have to come in first. Yeah,
absolutely. And Pam, do you want to add on to that? Like, what do you think from this Women's World Cup? We saw the Matildas getting all the support from the public. Was that nice to see? Especially with no one expecting Australia to go all the way to the semis.
Yeah, definitely. Like on the flight, the air stewardess will say, "Go Matildas!" at the train station. You're saying, "Let's hear the cheer for the Matildas." Like this, even in Singapore, you don't have this kind of rallying behind a team. So that's really nice to see. Like it takes a whole country to get behind a team, I think. Yeah, and I think that's the culture that we really lack in Singapore. We should really, and right now it feels like everybody's a critic.
Yes.
And it makes it not a nice environment.
I absolutely have to agree with you on that, seeing the Aussies getting behind the Matildas. And maybe a fun fact is that the Matildas actually used to have to give out flyers to their games. Nobody cared about them. There was one point of time. So, Shyan, for yourself, do you think the Matildas blueprint would be a good one for the Lionesses to follow?
I think that we are still way behind, maybe like 5-10 years behind what Australia is doing to women's football. So the spectatorship is one big part, but in terms of the grassroots and the growing of players will be something that we need to follow first before we can reach that. That's why.
Alright guys, as always, we do have highlights from the recent week of action in the Deloitte Women's Premier League, so let's check it out. Let's have a look now at the results from the previous week. And here are the latest standings of the Deloitte Women's Premier League. And of course, here are the fixtures for next week. And Shyan, for yourself, I mean, as coach of Lion City Sailors, I think you've coached so many young players, and they have so much nice things to say about you. What do you enjoy about your job at LCS? Coaching, defending champions of the league. And you also coach of the year, by the way, guys, last year in the SPL.
Yeah, I like the whole environment at LCS. The club is really trying to be as professional as possible. And when it comes to the girls and the women's program, we have the support that we need to grow. So I like being able to do my job. So that's really nice. And then the girls, they're fantastic. Their work attitude, their commitment to the sport. It's just a very nice place to be in. Yeah.
And Pam, for yourself, can you also explain a bit about your role at Unleash the Raw? And we've seen some of the girls also going to the US for their scholarships. So maybe can you explain a little bit more about that and maybe what you do there as well?
Just started earlier this year in April. Signed with the combined school of MGS, Boon Lay Sec and Westwood. So I'm working together with Coach Katarina, who's also the head coach for the under-16 team, girls team. So it's a combined team, and I missed their finals match actually. So they played in the National Stadium for their third placing match. Yeah, so they had a good result. And it's nice to see different schools coming together, and these are girls who have never learned football before, and we had to work a lot with them. So their coordination, their agility, you go through the whole process before. It's a difficult process, but seeing how they progress throughout the season is nice to see.
Yeah.
So and the girls who got the scholarship, they are the girls who I've seen through the national setup, very heartened with their progress, and they are the future stars of Singapore women's football.
Fantastic to know. Shyan and Pam, we're here. We're in a park in Australia. People are playing football behind us, something that we don't have in Singapore.
Yeah.
Shyan, you talk about culture a little bit. If a young girl wants to play professional football in Singapore, what does she need to do?
In Singapore, well, she needs to start playing sports at a younger age. Doesn't matter what sport, just being active and playing anything.
Yes.
I think that's the start for a Singaporean girl, and they are getting more and more opportunities to start playing, which is a good thing. I think those who find the opportunity at a younger age will find themselves really having a good pathway up. Yeah, has to be early.
And do you think that the fact that we don't have places like this in Singapore plays a part? Because I've looked everywhere in Sydney, there's like parks, you can play football, you can throw a frisbee. We just don't have that in Singapore. So what does the girl need? I'm just thinking, does she have to go to the gym, sign up for an academy? These are all expensive shit.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't it?
So I think Singapore is not just having the park, but having the kids come out and play after school is something that's becoming very rare. I think the kids are always at home. So even if you do have parks with football around, they don't do it. So in Singapore, it has to be more like an organized training. So maybe the parents have to find a place to sign them up. But now there are a lot of free and very cheap options in Singapore, like ActiveSG. Now even the UTR Centre, they start with the talent ID, but the program is free. So there's no excuse not to.
There's no excuse not to come and try and play for Shyan at LCS.
Yeah, LCS is a good option.
Pam, for yourself, you've coached so many young girls. How can they, if they want to join the UTR, it's like something that is there. It's achievable, like she mentioned. It's free. You can go and get a scholarship. What's the pathway like?
So for UTR right now, we're focusing on secondary schools. So if they like to come on the program, find out which school it is, and then come into the school.
Come to the school. So that's like Bowen Sec, I think a few others as well.
Not Bowen. Right now is Woodland Sec, and then the combined school, MGS, Westwood, and Boon Lay for the girls. Yeah, so we're looking to expand the program. So and we need more coaches as well. Yeah, and I think I saw, I think the Girl Cups program by FS is
Yeah, it's
restarting
coming
again.
up. Yeah, the new program. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's another place to start. So that one will cater to a younger age group because UTR starts at secondary schools. Yeah.
What qualities do the players need to succeed? Shyan, I'm very interested because you're looking after so many players. What qualities do you need to succeed as a women's player today, in this day and age?
Well, I think to get to a professional level globally, it's getting very tough. You really need to be talented, you need to be athletic, and you need to be able to be strong mentality, with a strong mental, so that you can really overcome so many obstacles to get where you want to. But in Singapore, to get to a certain level, like reasonable level, I think it's still pretty easy, at least for them to reach a competitive stage to play football. They just need to want it.
They just need to want it. Pam, you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so like we've seen all those girls come through and then to the scholarship. These girls are the most hardworking girls we've seen. They practice at their own time. They watch games. They ask questions. They do their own homework, like, in a sense. So, like, and of course, with the talent that they have, that's how they come so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, and yeah, I think, like Sheau Shyan said, a good start. Be active at a young age. That will really help. We can't work. It's very difficult to work with girls who don't know how to move.
Okay. All right, today I'm just really happy to be joined, of course, once again by Shyan and Pam. You know, thank you so much, guys, for taking the time in Sydney, and I hope that you have a very good Women's World Cup. Before we go, of course, we always like to have you guys leave a message, you know, for all the fans of your clubs, also your friends, you know, who are also supporting you guys. Shyan, maybe first from you.
Women and girls need to support our own sport, need to support football. So pay money, give sponsorships, anything you can do to help women's football grow. Yes.
Yay! Pam, yourself?
Start with something small. Don't be afraid to start being active, any sport. Don't have to be football right now. But if it interests you, there are plenty of opportunities. Just always reach out. There'll be people who are glad to show you the way.
Awesome. And once again, thank you so much, Pam and Shyan, for joining me. As I said, enjoy the rest of your Women's World Cup. Of course, we'll be following both your teams to see who will win the WPL title at the end of the season. Thank you so much, guys.
This weekend.
This weekend, yeah. Alright, guys, it's Ash from Footballita. Of course, do continue to support the Deloitte Women's Premier League, and we'll see you guys next time. Signing off from Sydney.